We haven't received any word about evacuations. Just a little bit more about this building and this company, Kindel Furniture, a luxury furniture maker founded in 1901. We know that this building that you're watching go up right now was built in 1912. There are factories in New York, Toronto, and Chicago. One of the last few American-made furniture brands known for hand carving, bench assembly, and hand finishing, according to their information. And I'm just looking on Facebook at some of the work that they do.
It's amazing.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, yeah. This is some high-end furniture, some handwork that's basically being done to put this stuff together, and it's really kind of sad in its own right, just because there's a lot of history that's going up in flames right now. A lot of artisans who've worked here at Kindel, at that furniture factory, who've been able to put together some amazing pieces of furniture here over the years. But we're going to get in with Joe LaFurgie right now and check in on the situation. Joe, what are we seeing now?
Hi, Brett. Wanted to give you an update. I just talked to somebody from the fire department that, boy, we're tangled up here a little bit. They tell me that the back two-thirds of the building is down. They've lost the roof. They've lost part of the inside walls. That's the bad news. The good news here is everything, the lacquer and a lot of the more dangerous stuff that's burning seems to have burnt up. In other words, it took care of itself. It caught fire and burnt. So that takes a major problem out of the equation, that burning lacquer. If that's burned up, it'll be much easier to put this fire out. They are concentrating on the last, one-third of this building, in other words, the east side of the building. You can see the smoke is getting a little bit lighter color, and you can see the water has made it all the way down. It's actually coming out one of the entrance, or one of the windows here on the east side. That is all good news. Good news, though, I will tell you, they are keeping their fingers crossed to this little bit of good news. They think all the really heavy fire load, the heavy the lacquer and some of the other stuff that burns so well has burned itself up. They might be able to get in there and stop it right now, but keep in mind, too, they can't go in and stop it because of the danger of the collapse. They've already lost, again, the ceiling, the roof of the building on that west end, so they can't bring anybody inside. They're going to have to still pour water on it, as they have been doing for the last, 45 minutes since we've been on the scene here. But they do believe they might be able to stop it here in this last two-thirds. Now, we were talking about evacuations. I also asked him about that. He said it appears the smoke is going more upwardly. It's not staying close to the ground. So they're monitoring that smoke. They're watching where it goes. But right now, they don't see a need for any evacuations. Again, it's the way it's burning. It's burning. It's going up. And you'll see right there the lighter colored smoke. It is going up into the sky. So once it gets up there, the winds will often start to catch it, and it disperses that smoke much better. We had a different weather situation here, that maybe another type of wind that was pushing that smoke down, then they might be more concerned. They might have a bigger problem. But for right now, they do not think they're going to need any evacuations because of the way that smoke is going. And you can see the wind has changed a little bit. It was coming out of the south when we first arrived here, pushing that to the southwest. Now the wind feels like it's coming more of a southeasterly direction, so it's pushing that wind more of a westerly direction. But again, look at the color of that smoke. It has changed color in the last couple of minutes. It is less black, it is more light, and that again is because a lot of that lacquer that is inside, that was spreading across the floor, that was in those large 55-gallon drums, a lot of that has burnt up. So as it burns up, that's less fuel to the fire. Now they've got more of the building itself on fire. Still a big risk for collapse in there, so they're still going to stay outside. But the fire load, the fire fuel, if you will, has lessened quite a bit here in this last couple of minutes. So there's some optimism here that they're going to be able to catch this fire and probably save the other third of this building. You can see off to the south here, they are raising another aerial ladder, and there's another problem they run into, especially in these old industrial. Look at that ladder. Look at the power line right next to it. Now it looks a little closer from where we're standing. Trust me, it's far enough away from their vantage point, but it takes some real skill and takes a lot of patience to try to figure out a spot to get one of these aerial ladders in, try to get them all around these wires that are all over this neighborhood. We talked about the spaghetti from the fire hose, but boy, you see all these electrical lines. The other safety feature is consumers has been in here and turned that most of the electrical power off in this area. So the chances, even if they did hit it with that metal aerial ladder of something sparking, are pretty low because, again, they've shut the power off. But that's another challenge in fighting a fire like this in an old industrial area. You've got a lot of power lines, you've got congested streets, and you've got an old building with a bunch of stuff that really likes to burn. Add all that up, and they've got a real job on their hands. Again, when I first arrived, one of the firefighters I know here said, this is one of those career fires. You're going to remember this. You're going to be talking this at the old firefighters' home someday, because this is one of those that really burns, and you remember the day that it happened.